Hey, folks. I am sufficiently recovered. I'm back. I'm feeling good. I'm in fighting trim and all that happy jazz. Hello, hi, and how are you doing out there in internet land? My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and welcome to the Hump Day session of Chattin on the Porch. A fun little live stream we do that we get together, we talk about the news, we tell you what's going on, we try to keep you informed, we try to keep everybody up to date, and we let everybody know, yeah, this is actually happening. No, it's not an illusion. Yes, you should start crying. We are on Rumble, we are on Twitter, and we are on that quaint little alternative social media platform known as YouTube. So please, pretty please, with sugar on top of it, if you would not mind, and you're not subscribed to my channel, please give me a sub. My co-host, Miss Tracy, is going to be coming on here in just a second. If you're not subscribed to her channel, Gen X Marks the Spot, give her a sub. Give both of us a sub. Give us a follow on Twitter. Share our links around, and all that happy stuff. Leave thumbs up. Leave comments. Leave money if you're so inclined. None of that's not appreciated, believe me, very much. Again, my name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative. I am sometimes known as the fine fella in the fedora. On occasion, I'm called the common man with common sense. But I am above all else, at this moment in time, your host. Again, we are on Rumble, we are on Twitter, and we are on YouTube. So please, share the link around. Tell your friends that we're here. We're going to try and make this thing fun and interesting tonight. Got lots to talk about. I got stuff I got to catch up on for where I was out yesterday. I'm feeling much, much better. Glad to have all of you guys here. And we're looking forward to a very interesting night. So yes, settle in, pour yourself a cup of something, get comfortable in your chairs, and we will get this party started momentarily as soon as the boys and the band finish up over there. And it sounds like they just finished. All right. Very good. Very, very good. TBA says, so I did not miss a show yesterday. No, you did not. I missed a show yesterday because I was in bad shape. Bad shape indeed. All right. You know her. You love her. She is the hostess of Gen X Marks the Spot. She is commentator, provocateur, drinker of wine, lover of dogs. My friend, Tracy Barkley. How you doing, darling?
Doing a lot better if I took it off mute. I'm doing really good. Really good. I'm glad you're feeling
my
better,
goodness.
by the way.
Oh yeah. I got is one of those, and I guess everybody goes through it. The longer the day went, it kept getting worse and worse. And finally about 3:00, I said, ain't no way I can do this show tonight. I just feel like 7 kinds of crap.
I understand. And I want everybody to know I'm having a severe allergy attack today, hay fever.
She's not allergic to me, just to let y'all know.
It's not Brian. It's so if you see me doing this or this, it's not that I don't have a fungus and I don't have coke nose. My nose is itching.
So you and Kamala been hanging out together again, huh?
See, I didn't want to bring her into it, but I swear, though, I sat and watched one of those interviews where somebody had showed how many times she rubbed her nose. And I went, she's got to be on something, because even if it was an allergy attack, I don't think she'd be rubbing her nose that much unless she has some sort of nervous tick.
Cherry Curry, who is on Twitter.
Yeah, the Runaways.
And former singer in the Runaways, as she has helped assist in drug rehab before. Mm-hmm. And she watched that video, and Cherry Curry was absolutely convinced. She's like, there's no way in the world that woman is not on something, probably cocaine and a combination of alcohol to go with it. So absolutely crazy. So how's your day been?
It's been good. It's been a good day, hanging out on Twitter in between work meetings and stuff. So it's always fun.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, as always, we always try to bring the late breaking to you, and we both have pieces of information that are of interest to everybody, and I will let Tracy go first, and then I will follow up after she is done.
Well, first of all, when I ask how many people in the audience do we have that are proud to be garbage? Because I sure am.
I like my garbage. I like my garbage. I'm all about being garbage. I've been told that by many different women. over the years. So I wear that title with pride, folks.
Yeah. Well, all this like name calling. Well, it's been going on for a long time, but all this name calling essentially started with Kill Tony at the Madison Square Garden event. An insult comedian makes an insulting joke. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I thought for the type of event it was a poor set. As a stand-up comedian myself, I would never have done that set there. I would probably not done a comedy set at all. I would have done just a speech with maybe a few little funny quips in it, but that's neither here nor there. He has every right to do what he wants to do. And so was a little out of place, but it was still funny. I laugh, but I have a dark sense of humor. But of course, that started it, and all the instances about how we insulted Puerto Rico, how Trump insulted Puerto Rico, culminating in Trump coming out and saying that he didn't know Tony personally. They booked a comedian. He doesn't know who he is. He's never listened to his show. His feelings on Puerto Rico or any other nationality are not his feelings on them. So it was just a comedian that opened up his rally. But even with all the hubbub, there were people on the street there doing interviews with several Puerto Rican citizens or Puerto Rican Americans that were not offended by it all. Their main thing was, we have a sense of humor. And then yesterday, probably the cream on top of that sundae, so to speak, was that the shadow senator, now Puerto Rico, even though it's a U.S. territory, not a state, they do have a member of Congress and a member of the House and a member of the Senate that sits there. They only vote on things that are pertinent to Puerto Rico. They have what they call a shadow election for a president, even though it doesn't really count toward the election. But the shadow senator from the state of Puerto Rico, or the territory of Puerto Rico, actually a lady by the name of Zorada, but actually endorsed Donald Trump yesterday at his Pennsylvania rally. So I think that puts to rest how offended Puerto Ricans were by Kill Tony's joke. And how, if you really dig deep into it, it's all white ladies, it's all white women that are offended by that, not the actual Puerto Ricans.
Oh, absolutely. And the part that cracks me up, and I've got another link that you sent me, and to give you an idea of what the Puerto Ricans thought of Kill Tony's joke and whether they were really going to come off of Donald Trump. Well, folks, we can sort of put this to rest. So do us a favor real quick and check this out. This is from down in Puerto Rico. Yeah, I'll drop the sound down on this, but that's one of those car caravans that you will see all over the place. And, it absolutely, the Puerto Ricans are like, they're like, screw that. We're coming out for Trump, man. And boy, are they doing it in a big way. Woo! I mean, just absolutely crazy. I mean, I'll put the sound bag up real quick. Listen to this. Oh, okay. I'm going to get in trouble with YouTube. But yeah, the Puerto Ricans don't seem to mind. It just. Oh, by the way, I got a real good story. You know Peter Feliciano, don't you?
Yes, I do. I don't know him personally, but I know who he is.
Okay, all right. One night, as is I'm prone to have happen to me, I got invited onto a live stream, and this one was hosted by Daniel De La Fay and Brentley when they used to co-host the Dangerous Rare podcast together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're maybe an hour or so into it, and everybody's in a real good mood and relaxed and whatever. Well, lo and behold, Feliciano shows up backstage. And something or another happened that Brentley didn't bring him in real quick. So finally, when he brings him in, we all say hello, and Peter, being the glorious smartass that he is, says, "I'll see what it's like. The gays are keeping the Puerto Ricans waiting, huh?" And without missing a beat, I said, no, Peter, being gay has nothing to do with it. I'm straight as an arrow, and I'll make a Puerto Rican wait all the time. And he about lost his stuff right there. His head went flying back. He just died laughing in that
Oh,
big, glorious, beautiful laugh that he has. And I kept thinking back on this whole Kill Tony thing, and I thought, context. Peter knew I was
context. If you
joking with
listen to
him.
his whole set, you wouldn't be offended at all. But if you
Peter
clip
knew.
that one part, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
if go back and watch him on the roast of Tom Brady,
oh God, he's brutal.
that's what he does. He's a roast comedian. And speaking of what you were saying about context, I dated a Puerto Rican for about 10 years. We lived together.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to say crap all the time that if you heard it without knowing the context, you think she's racist as hell. Like there was instance like she had a switchblade that her brother had given her, and she was
Oh.
just cleaning it. And I just walked through and looked at it and said, "Oh, a Puerto Rican credit card."
Oh.
got so she got so tickled.
Yeah, and that's just it. Peter knew that I was joking. I knew I was joking with Peter. The whole group knew it was a joke,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody got a laugh out of it.
Yeah.
Except people on the left who have no sense of humor. They
Mm-hmm.
just don't. I mean, I don't know if it was you or somebody else. The movie Good Morning Vietnam.
Yep.
And it was the sergeant who was in charge of Robin Williams' character.
Mm-hmm.
So they take Adrian Cronauer off the air, and he thinks that he can do humor just as well as Adrian Cronauer, and there's not a single solitary joke that lands. And that's pretty much what the left is. They have no sense of humor. They can't meme. They have no understanding of humor.
Oh, I
And
agree.
it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Leftist
Totally
horrible
ridiculous.
memers, and any quote unquote progressive liberal comedian absolutely sucks.
Yep.
Any that I've ever seen, right down to Kathy Griffin. I've never understood her stand up. I don't like it. Probably the only quote unquote leftist comedian that I actually like was Lisa Lampanelli. And the
Oh
left
God.
canceled her years
Oh yeah.
ago because
Oh
of
yeah.
being racist. But she would
Mhm.
lean liberal, I'm pretty sure. But she was funny as hell.
Oh, I know. And Rhonda, I saw your comment in chat. You hang on to that, darling, because we're going to get to that story here in a few minutes. All right, let's see. So there's that. Let me. Do you want to do the update on Bucks County, PA first? You want to do the update on Michigan?
Either one. If you have the thing to share, I'll take one. You take the other. You just share
All
the
right,
one,
I'll
and
tell you
we'll.
what. I'll take Michigan. You take Bucks County.
Okay.
One of the big worries from and I say updates, and these are broke this afternoon. One I'm just about in the past hour. One of the big worries that a lot of people have had about 2024 is that we're just going to have a repeat of 2020. By that I mean the Republican National Committee is going to sit on, have their thumb stuck up their derrieres, and they'll be warned about all these shenanigans that the Democrats are trying to pull in advance and won't do a thing about it. Well, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're on top of every single solitary cotton picking thing, but I will give them credit so far under the leadership of Michael Whatley, the Republican National Chair, and the co-chair, Lara Trump. They're on it. If somebody brings something to their attention, they are just like
and the ground game in Pennsylvania too. The people
Yeah.
watching it on the ground in some of the swing states have been instrumental.
Yeah, and there was a report that came out a little bit earlier today out of Michigan that actually it was yesterday, I should say. There was like 168,000 duplicate ballots were floating around Michigan. Well, good news, folks. It turns out that again, the Republicans are on this thing. I will pop this up here for the benefit of all. And this is from Lara Trump. Let me see if I can enlarge this a little bit to make it easier for everybody to read. Yeah, it's a little bit. There we go. Now we're cooking. Our election integrity team received reports of thousands of duplicate ballots in Michigan. We immediately investigated and have confirmed that it was a glitch in the system. These duplicates were not and will not be counted. We are on it, and we are trying to protect the vote. Okay, this is good news. So, yeah, because that was like the numbers on that one were like, I heard estimates of like 168,000. So that was big. So, yeah, and TBA over on Rumble says lots and lots of eyeballs on all the precincts this time around. Yes. And like I say, I understand they're doing their dead level best. There's a lot of stuff spread out over 50 states you got to keep an eye on. I get it, but I will give them credit so far. They're definitely way more responsive than they were
They're
under
more
Ron.
ahead. I think they know trust. They're doing what Reagan used to do: trust but verify.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And the other update I will leave to my gloriously gorgeous co-host Tracy. Take it.
Okay. Well, we do know that yesterday, particularly in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, there was some reports at the Bucks County courthouse of security guards, not necessarily law enforcement, but security guards putting a sign down that says this is the end of the voting line. Now, bear in mind, early voting is supposed to be open until today, until 5 p.m. every day. And as long as you were in line by 5 p.m., same rules that applies on election day. As long as you're in line by the time the polls close, you are allowed to vote, no matter how long it took. But there were security guards that were putting signs closing the line at 2:45 and making people go to other early voting stations at the Bucks County Courthouse. And Scott Presser reported on this. Other people reported on this. And that shred alone makes me just want to take one of those like honky horns that clowns have, the ones that are real loud, and just blow it right in his ear, because he's walking like an asshole. But, mall cop with too much power.
Yeah.
But anyway, and Scott Presser filed a complaint, and then with the help of one of our attorneys, Republican attorneys, he filed a lawsuit, and it didn't even have to get any further than the paperwork being filed, because today the Election Commission in Bucks County extended early voting through Friday at 5 p.m. As long as you're in line, you can vote. So how about them apples?
And we have a statement from Scott Presser on that, folks. Give me a sound check as always, and tell me what you think of these apples.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Presler. I have breaking news. The Republican National Committee has won their court case, and due to the voter disenfranchisement yesterday at the Doylestown Courthouse, we now have 3 more days of early in-person voting. Today, Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, and ending on Friday. So get out here right now and you show up in full peaceful force. You make your voices heard and request an in-person, on-demand, mail-in ballot. You have until 5 p.m. today, Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, and on Friday. Let's go.
Yep. And I think we need to protect Scott Presler at all costs.
Hell yes.
He is going to be a target for some of these crazies on the left because of his ground game in Pennsylvania.
He will.
And Pennsylvania is not the only state he's done this. I think he was instrumental in getting up Florida's ground game in elections past. I mean, he's great on the ground game. If you need a state flipped, you send him to the state. But and it's obvious that the Republicans were targeting Pennsylvania, because I think they knew they had other states pretty solid, and they knew Pennsylvania was the key. And that's the reason he's on the ground in Pennsylvania. And also, I think he lives there.
Absolutely.
But so that was a great victory. They're watching things like a hawk. And also I saw that Josh Shapiro, governor of Pennsylvania, spurned governor of Pennsylvania by way of the Kamala Harris campaign, is speaking out a lot, saying that he is personally ensuring that all elections in Pennsylvania are as fair as they possibly can be. So he's watching it. And I think that's his way of giving a middle finger to Kamala, who did not choose him to be his vice president because he's Jewish.
It is the dumb. I mean, if she goes on to lose, there are going to, I think it was John F. Kennedy, who said, "Victory has 1,000 fathers, defeat is an orphan." I slightly disagree with that in this respect. If she goes on to lose, I'm not sure her defeat will be an orphan as much as it will have some illegitimate parents that don't want to claim it. And one of those illegitimate parents will be a horrible decision to not take Shapiro from Pennsylvania.
She might have won. If she had, she loses with Tim Walz. And if it's Tim Walz's fault she loses, then she would have won. She might have won with Josh Shapiro.
Well, here's the thing.
Because he's a moderate guy. He's not a crazy leftist loon.
Well, I mean, the thing about Tim Walz, I mean, yeah, he's got some issues of varying kinds. But he's good, he's solid, he's dependable. He'll go out and do anything he can to try and help the ticket. Shapiro would have been the same way, but Shapiro would have given them a better shot in Pennsylvania. And Shapiro would have had the incentive to crank up his machinery on behalf of Kamala Harris. And right now, yeah, he'll give her lip service, but he's got no real reason to crank up his people and his efforts on her behalf.
No, he is trying to win re-election in
2
Pennsylvania.
years. Exactly.
And it's a true purple state. You can't say that Pennsylvania is Republican or Democratic. It's the true purple state. And he's got to please both sides of the aisle in Pennsylvania because Democrats in Pennsylvania, there's a few of your crazy leftists in the cities, but for the most part, the Democrats in Pennsylvania are your old school working class union Democrats. He's got to toe the line with those people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And before we get any further, I am a bit remiss in not saying hello to some people. Dave is in the house. I am feeling better, and a fist bump for you, my brother. Adam is here. The professor's in the house. Let's see, who else have we got here? Ms. Rhonda is here. Mwah! Hello, gorgeous. Let's see, who else be here? Rhonda's here. Of course, I've blown my kisses to Jessica, but I'm not adverse to doing that again. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's see who's over on Rumble. You'll notice, Jessica, I'm being gentlemanly. I'm trying to be better behaved than I normally do. Let's see. WWG1 has thrown in a bunch of memes. Good evening to you, sir. Fist bump to one of the wing nuts. TBA is here, and yes, I'm feeling better. Sean from Third Rallify is in the house. See, yeah, I think we're caught up with everybody. The check is in the mail. Well, I will look forward to receiving that, my dear. I will indeed look forward to receiving that. All right. Tell you what, Tracy, I'll tell you what. I'll let you run with the next topic, and then we'll get into the merry memes of the evening. So with that, take it, my dear.
Next topic. Gosh, I'm not sure I had a next topic.
Okay.
We could talk about. I know you're going to talk about it later. The Joe Biden we are trash comment.
Oh God.
But we can talk about that a little later. But the Republicans, that is in the personification of Vivek Ramaswamy, had quite an interesting reply to that, and he
let me find it.
Arranged with someone to take a garbage truck to the North Carolina rally today and to work part of a shift with a sanitation worker prior to that.
I've got that. Let me pull it up. And folks, never let it be said, and don't worry, we're going to get to the genesis of all this. Believe me, Tracy and I have both got comments about this. Now, you're going to see the after effect. Never let it be said that creativity is the sole province of Democrats. Creativity tends to abound everywhere if you give it some inspiration. And let me tell you, Vivek Ramaswamy got inspired with an absolutely fabulous idea. Folks, check this out.
All right.
Now, wait a minute. Look, I respect the fact that he's diversifying his occupational base, but really, where's the counter in the 7-Eleven? I mean, really,
Can you imagine the absolute if Vivek went and worked in a convenience store or a hotel?
I don't know if you ever saw this, but Benny Johnson will occasionally pop in on Friday Night Tights. Mm-hmm. Well, this was maybe, I don't know, a couple 3 months ago. And, you know, he's talking with Gary from Nerdrotic and all the gang. Well, lo and behold, here comes Vivek. And without missing a beat, God love her, Chrissy Mayer says, "That's fabulous. I was in the mood for a Slurpee. Thank God you showed up." And everybody went, and then they all started laughing. And Vivek was cool about it. He's like, "Yes, ma'am. I'll see what I can do about that." And I thought, oh my God, Chrissy, you are fearless. I love you. I absolutely love you. Anyway, laying aside my poor attempt at humor, let's get back to the video.
Let's do it, man. I got it. Yeah. Tell me, what are we doing here?
Hang on, folks. Here we
Twitter
go.
technical difficulties.
Right up to here.
You know, for a multi-millionaire, he's doing pretty well with that.
Is it on? All right, sweet. Lift open, and then what?
And that's not an easy job.
No.
Pull them both out.
You don't put that in there just right.
You
have trash everywhere, or you have to clean out that machine, or you have a crushed trash can, which are not cheap.
It kind of works. Should I pull it back again? No, this goes up. Should I pull it? Yeah, pull it out. Pull it out?
You know, for a guy doing that with on-the-job training, he's doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Let's do it.
Can you imagine living in that house and you look out and you see Vivek Ramaswamy in front of your house dumping your trash?
I mean, it's like you didn't even have to use the bat once. No, I know exactly.
I go running out there for a selfie.
It's the machine works really well, man. All right, let's get some more.
And
that is great.
That is awesome. And he took that. Not only did he work the shift, he had them drive him to the North Carolina rally, so he could pull up in the trash truck.
Oh my God, that's funny. That is absolutely funny.
And I want to counter anything that leftists might say, because I can see it coming. Mark my words. They're going to say that was not a city garbage truck. That was a private trash service. Let me tell you, idiots. I know that's going to happen because that was a private trash company, waste disposal company. I live out in the sticks. Our local government does not send their trash trucks this far out. Either we take our own trash to the dump, or we pay a private service $35 a month to come pick up our trash. We pay the private service. So private services do service areas that the local government cannot service or won't service. So I guarantee you they are running real routes for real people.
Exactly. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Jessica says, in my city, we pay for a private one and pay an opt-out fee for the pleasure of opting out of the city. What? They're making you, first of all, so you would pay a fee if the city were coming to get it, and then they're going to make you pay a fee to opt out?
To hire a private service.
Oh, shit, fire and apple butter. Jeez, God. Never ceases to amaze me. Never.
And the service we get from our local private service is much better than we would ever get for the town. Much better.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. Jessica, they're getting you going and coming out there, darling. They really are. All right. To the Merry Memes section of the show. Oh gosh, so much fun to be had this evening. You know, much has been made, and I'm sure Tracy will back me up on this, about independent candidates this year in 2024 and how voters are responding to, their big decision they have to make on election day or the day they go to vote of, who are they going to vote for? Well, everybody's focused on the independent candidates, but very few people have focused on the write-in candidates. And believe me, there are quite a few of them. And the Porch Hounds have been busy, as they are wont to do on your behalf, because they're all about bringing you the news in the 411. The Porch Hounds managed to get a camera inside of a polling place to discover what some people are calling a newfound phenomenon of the write-in candidate. And this write-in candidate, man, they may be going places. So with that, folks, never let it be said that we're not bringing you the 411. So check out this amazing phenomenon of a write-in candidacy.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose, you can vote any way you want, and no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
I did, honey. Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth.
And
I don't know, folks. I think D's nuts may be onto something. I don't know how much of a share of the national vote that D's nuts is going to get, but this could be the phenomenon that shakes up the 2024 election.
And honestly, I'm glad that you used that clip, because that is a clip out of a real live Democratic sponsored commercial that's going around with Julia Roberts doing the narration and encouraging women to vote opposite of what their husbands vote and to lie to them about it. That both those women marked Harris Waltz and gave that little knowing look, like most of the time married couples don't agree on who they're going to vote for. Like these women are being intimidated into voting, but married women are being intimidated to vote for Trump.
Unbelievable. Well, like I say, folks, come election night, everybody's talking about Trump, everybody's talking about Harris, but we might actually be talking about D's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
You just never quite know. You never quite know. All right, what else do we have in the way of the merry memes? Well, and we're gonna get to the story that is the genesis for all of these memes. But and thanks again as always to WWG1 for providing laughs for all of us. And he has a very unique sense of humor and a very unique way of finding this stuff. I have to give him credit. So I'll just put these up here for the benefit of the group. I have the best garbage. It's so huge, I say. Even Trump's getting in on this thing, and we've got some comments from the Donald about all this too here in a minute. What else do we have by way of inspiration? Oh yeah, here you go. Yeah, me and the boys in line to vote for Hitler. There you go. There you go. That's how we roll. Well, now, wait a minute. Do these guys roll or not? I can't see if they got wheels.
Oh, I'm sure they do. They have the little bar up front.
Yeah, okay.
They have wheels
all right.
on the other side.
Okay, yeah. So the boys be rolling up into the line. That's how they be.
Because I envy those types of trash cans. I have the little cheap plastic home ones here. Isn't that terrible?
Oh goodness. Oh. Now this one's more in the way of a medically related meme. And I guess it's by way of a public service announcement. What do you do if you go rabid and you bite a Democrat? Well, someone has come up with a medical solution for that, for at least the rabidness. What you have to do, if you did bite a Democrat, just remember to lick your butt for an hour to get the taste out of your mouth. I mean, whether this cures the rabidness or not, I don't know. But at least your breath is gonna be better, and the taste of food will be, there you go. Like I say. You come to the electronic front porch, you get all kinds of information that you never planned on receiving. So, what are you smirking about over there?
Dog.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
dog Jake that we lost recently. This is a good memory of him. He used to give us that exact same look with his teeth like that. He'd snarl it. And he was the best at giving side eye.
Well, this dog just looks plain old pissed. Forget side eye. He's like, you let me bite into a Democrat and I got to lick my own ass for an hour just to get the taste out of my mouth. That's awful. Oh, good. Yeah. And friends, for those of you out there who are dog owners, and there are several of y'all in the audience, don't y'all ever let your dog knowingly bite into a Democrat, because this is what you're going to have to deal with. I mean, the rest of the night they're going to be like,
let me tell you about Jake.
All right, tell me about Jake.
He was like Scooby-Doo incarnate, and we lost him last month. So I tend to, if you get me started on him, I'm going to talk about him. He was the biggest coward ever. I mean, he wanted to protect us. He wanted to protect me anytime I went out, but he was just a coward. And one time, our yard guy, I was putting out the trash, and he would go out with me and just walk to the road with me. Mm-hmm. And big old, golden, he was a German Shepherd, golden retriever mix. And so he would walk to the edge of the road with me, and our yard guy was driving in to do our yard, and he thought the yard guy got too, close. So he growled, yelped, ran at him, snapped at the general direction of him in the air, went, and then took off down the road running away from him. I mean, that's how scared he was. And I
Oh
looked
my
at
God.
Chico's. And I said, Chico, did he hurt? He goes, no, he didn't even come anywhere near me. Is he okay? He's
Oh,
like,
that's funny.
I had to go
That's funny.
chase him down the road. He was still running.
That is absolutely funny. All right, a couple of more memes, and then we'll get into some other stuff this evening. You know, there's always a certain amount of accusation by voters that the Democrats and the Republicans collude together, and that it's all just one giant big show, and all we're doing is just participating in a giant, you know, form of kabuki theater, etc. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Porch Hounds have now come across evidence of collusion between Democrats and Republicans, particularly as it relates to recent events. We have a photograph of a phone call that took place, and this goes to the highest levels of government in the United States. Apparently, and I don't know when this happened, but apparently Joe Biden put a phone call into Donald Trump, and again, the Porch Hounds were able to get a transcript of what was said. It says, yeah, I called them all garbage, all of them. And October's surprise for that bitch. The race is yours, Don. You know, I am a little surprised that this phone call is taking place between the President of the United States and Donald Trump. But, you know, it's been a weird year, 2024. I am not surprised by anything anymore. So, congratulations to the Porch Hounds for breaking this one and bringing it to you, the members of Fedora Nation. So there you go. Unbelievable. All right, one last one. We'll get into some other stuff. And everybody talks about the October surprise. The October surprise. What's it going to be? Well,
We've had a month full of surprises.
Well, but this one that we're going to get into a discussion of next, because you've got stuff on it, I've got stuff on it, and you know, it's going to be an interesting discussion. Some October surprises are received better than others, and apparently the most recent one that dropped did not do anything to help Barack Obama's spirits. I don't know, folks. That looks like the face of a man that is just totally done. I mean, Obama just looks like, I mean, when you get to the point that your head is in your hands and you just can't take it anymore, more often than not, that is the expression that you've got on your face. So, I don't know. Poor old Barack. That's all I can say. Poor old Barack indeed. All right. And there'll be a few more memes before this night is over with, but those are the main ones that we've got for right now. So there you go. Excuse me 1 second.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Brian. I'm going to send you something right
What?
now.
What?
I'm on Twitter right now. Trump is speaking from a garbage truck.
What?
Right now.
Are you serious?
Trump, make America great again in Green Bay.
Are you
Wisconsin.
serious with this?
I am serious as a heart attack. I'm going to drop it in the private chat here.
Nope. Private. All right. I'm waiting.
There you go.
All right. Hang on a minute. Folks, we have late breaking. Compliments of Miss Tracy. Hang on, folks. Oh, sorry. My God. Oh, my God. This is great. I love this, man. I love it. Hang on.
That is check. And when J.D. Vance's interview with Joe Rogan drops, that is checkmate. Buddy.
Okay, folks, hang on a second. Oh, this is just now, folks. You think that we're teasing you for some kind of level of BS, which you might otherwise expect out of this live stream. We're not. This is genuine. This is live from CNN. 524. 60.
Yeah.
This would have been about 15 minutes ago. Donald Trump. I love this man.
I don't know how he got a truck painted that fast.
I don't know. It's Trump. That's all I can tell you. It's Trump.
Or rap that fast.
People have been saying he needed to do this, and folks, never let it be said that Donald Trump is not the consummate showman. From Green Bay, Wisconsin, at a rally he's going to do tonight, this clip runs about 6 seconds, but you have got to see this. Enjoy.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
I love that man. My play it again. Hang on. Matter of fact, let me take us off the screen. Again, this only runs a few seconds, but check it out. This is great.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Oh my God, that man's a genius.
Ooh. And he's got Vic in North Carolina in a trash truck.
That is gonna burn down the internet for the rest of the night. You're gonna see libtards all over Twitter, just like, son of a bitch.
Trump is playing this game of social media so well because of every
They are.
October surprise the Democrats have tried to drop. There has been something the Republicans have done that has trumped it, pun totally intended, for the good, and the news cycle has been all about the good stuff, not the bad stuff. And that is all. Like the New York Times, you saw what they did trying to intimidate conservative news sources on YouTube. They sent them that text saying they're going to drop this big expose because of what media matters, and they were misinformation. Well, that story dropped today. Have you seen Hyde and O'Hara, that story anywhere? No, because Biden calling us garbage has totally dominated the news cycle, and now Trump does this, and Vivek does that.
Oh my! I am reposting this right now. This is just...
That was less than 15 minutes ago.
That is just amazingly funny. People have been saying all day, he needs to get out on a garbage truck. He needs to get out on a garbage truck. Trump's like, screw get out on a garbage truck. Hell, I have one custom made for this thing. That is great.
The only thing better would have been for him to be driving it. But I don't know if he has a CDL.
Well, no, just put him in the driver's seat. I don't give a shit. That's great. Oh, seriously, that is going to burn down the internet. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we've teased it long enough. Let's get into this discussion about garbage, as the great sports broadcaster Marv Albert used to call it. Whenever a basketball or football or sporting event would reach the point where one team was quite obviously going to win, Marv Albert, as a consummate professional broadcaster, would say, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the garbage section of the game. All right. I'll start this off. Tracy, jump in wherever you like. So last night for Kamala Harris was supposed to be her penultimate event, a speech on the Washington Ellipse, 75,000 people making her closing argument about why it is that she should be the next president of the United States. This was billed as the beginning of the closing argument, right? And she had thousands of people bust in, literally. She had everything going for her. She had the press there. She had, whatever. And you remember that song from back in the 60s, Along Came Mary? Well, along came Joe, her boss, Joe Biden. And you knew you had a foreboding sense that something was going to happen. Because earlier in the day, when Joe Biden gave a speech, he threatened to drown Trump. Now, y'all think I'm crazy. Go ahead.
Was it Trump or was it Kill Tony?
You may be right. Well, either way, he's going to take somebody out. He's going to take somebody out on the lake, okay, or the bay right behind him. Yeah, and if you don't believe me, here's the clip I'm talking about. Yeah. Check this out.
Including, yes, Puerto Rico. Well, I'd take that guy for a swim out there. Anyway.
Now, fair enough. It might have been Tony Hinchcliffe he was talking about. It might have been Trump.
But either way, he threatened to kill somebody, drown somebody.
And now this is a fair question. Well, they might lead to both, Professor, because Yes, in part they'll entertain, but it just drives home the point. So we'll see.
There are
But
so many people
fair
that want to
question.
give the rich the finger, and everybody knows now that the Democrats are the party of the rich.
Exactly. Now, with that little snippet from Joe, you had a feeling that something was coming. Okay. Or as Bill Murray sang in Ghostbusters, so be good for goodness sake.
Okay.
Whoa, somebody's coming. Well, sure enough, Joe did just that. In a recorded teleconference with Voto Latino, I believe is the name of the group. Biden was riffing on various subjects, right? And he got off a comment that literally, not literally, figuratively speaking,
Broke the internet.
sucked the oxygen right out of the room for Kamala. And I'm gonna play the whole thing. Most folks have focused on about 20 seconds. I'm gonna play the whole thing. So this is about 50 seconds of Joe Biden. I'm gonna let you hear it for yourself, and then we're gonna talk about it. With that, here you go.
Donald Trump has no character. He doesn't give a damn about the Latino community. He's failed businessman. He only cares about the billionaire friends he has and accumulating wealth for those at the top. No, he says immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Give me a break. He wants to do away with the birthright citizenship. Who the hell has said that in the last 100 years? And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of things is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done.
Okay. I apologize for the low volume, but I'm going to back that up because I want you guys to hear the last part of that again. And with that, here we go.
I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of things is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done.
The only thing I see floating around out there, the only garbage I see floating around out there are his supporters.
Hard pause. Then he went on to say his demonization of them. And they're trying to backtrack and say he meant to say the only garbage I see out of there are his followers and their demonization of them, like semicolon. No, that doesn't track. That was a hard pause, period.
Yeah.
Then, and that's not a stutter. It's not even a function of a stutter.
But the press tried to paint it as just that. And I don't have. Oh, and WWG1 says over on Rumble makes deplorable sound tame. You think?
Yeah, Hillary Clinton was kind in comparison.
Oh yeah, no kidding. No sooner had that gone out, and you could hear a giant sucking sound. That's called oxygen going right out of the room, baby.
And one of the speakers at Trump's rally brought it up with Trump standing right there saying, I just heard that he called you garbage or called your followers garbage.
I've got the clip.
Yeah.
That evening when Trump was, I forget where he was at, Senator Marco Rubio got invited up on the stage, and Trump hadn't heard about this yet. So let me set that up. He did. WWG1 says, where did you practice that sucking sound? It's natural talent.
And
it's
just for
natural
FYI,
talent,
Marco Rubio is Cuban American, very, very close to Puerto Rican, very, very
exactly.
close. Island's very, very close to Puerto Rico, so the same area, and he's a diehard Trump supporter.
That's right. And now that's the context for the clip you're about to see. So Trump last night, he's holding another one of his rallies, 78-year-old man, 50 plus days straight. He's out there working it. He invites Marco Rubio up on the stage. Trump has no idea about this comment yet. And folks, check this out.
So we're thrilled to be joined by some incredible people. I already mentioned Senator Marco Rubio. Marco, will you come up here, please? Come on.
Now here it comes.
Good,
So
good
Marco had to
man.
be checking his Twitter just moments before.
Well, he has a piece of paper in his hands.
Or somebody gave him a.
Now, he just hands it
breaking
to
news.
Trump.
All right. Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I have breaking news for you, Mr. President. You may not have heard this. Just moments ago, Joe Biden stated that our supporters are garbage.
Everybody's whipping out their phones to look.
Yep.
Are garbage.
And Trump's just shaking his head like, no, he did. And he's not saying a word, but he's got that look on his face like
He's mad.
oh, he's mad. And
He's
here's the
mad
rest
as
of it.
fuck.
He's talking about the Border Patrol. He's talking about nurses. He's talking about teachers. He's talking about everyday Americans who love their country and want to dream big again and support you, Mr. President. And I hope their campaign is about to apologize for what Joe Biden just said. We are not garbage. We are patriots who love America. And thank you for running, Mr. President.
So we're through.
Okay. Now, almost immediately, the White House realized they had a problem on their hands. And Joe, at about 9:30 last night, put out a tweet, or somebody put out a tweet on Joe Biden's behalf,
Yeah.
trying to back their way out of this thing. Earlier today, I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump supporter at Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think of to describe it. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say. The comments at that rally don't reflect who we are as a nation. Nuh-uh, Joe. No.
You called us garbage.
No. You're not getting out of this one. Okay? And I agree with Tracy. That was a hard stop. You said supporters. The only garbage I see out floating around are his supporters.
And then she went on to say his demonization of them.
His demonization. Yeah, you called at a minimum 75 million Americans, plus God only knows how many more Trump's going to get now because of your dumbass comment. You just called multi-millions of people garbage. Now, here's the $1 million question, Tracy. I want everybody's take on this, but I'll start with Tracy. It has been theorized that Joe Biden is trying to put a shank into Kamala because of how he got disposed of back in July. Did he make this comment on purpose? Meaning I was intentionally thinking how this would screw up Kamala, or did he just have one of those old man moments, said what he really thinks, and it's going to wind up hurting Kamala?
He did it on purpose. 100% he did it on purpose, or somebody on his staff told him he should comment on it. I don't think he was reading from a script.
No, I don't think he was either.
But somebody on his staff. Now, from what I understand, from all the insider information we have, it's pretty well known that Kamala's staff and Joe Biden's staff do not get along.
No.
Because they fully expect she's going to replace every single one of them. So they have no love lost for her. He wants Kamala to lose because I truly believe he's upset at this point. And honestly, at this point, he would have been a better candidate than Kamala, even with all his like unlucid moments. He would have been a better candidate and more of a risk to Trump than Kamala, to be quite honest, because he still has that blue collar appeal in the Rust Belt. But other than that, no, he's 100% did it on purpose and thought he could use his dementia to weasel his way out of it, so the Democrats, so his handlers, wouldn't look at him badly. I'm
gonna do something I normally don't do where Joe Biden is concerned. I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt. I think that this is one of those moments where old man said exactly what he was thinking, didn't really give two hoots in hell about what it meant, because he's not running. He didn't get anything to lose. And if it just so happens on accident to further his goal of putting the shank into Kamala, so be it. I mean, and again, you might be absolutely right. He might have been thinking, okay, let's see what I can do to the bitch.
He could care less about his legacy now. He knows his legacy is shit. He's done some terrible things. Done. He's a
Yeah.
one-term president. His legacy is what Jimmy Carter's was when it comes to being president. The only thing that saved Jimmy Carter is his years of work as a diplomat and a humanitarian after the fact. And I like Jimmy Carter, but Jimmy Carter, if you go back and dig, he did a lot of colluding with the communists.
Oh yeah.
In his heyday. I didn't know that until I read some stuff on him recently. I don't like him as much as I once did.
Well, and you can make an argument that Jimmy Carter is in the genesis of why we have much of the problems in the Middle East, because whether intentionally or whether just by ineptness, he got the Shah deposed in Iran. The crazies took over with the Ayatollah Khomeini, and Iran hasn't been the same since.
Yeah,
And they've been
he's
making
the whole
mischief
reason for
around
the
the Middle
Iranian
East.
tried to negotiate during the Iran hostage crisis.
Yeah, and the mullahs in Iran and Tehran have been making mischief in the Middle East for 50 years because of that bonehead move. Let's see what everybody's got. Sean from Third Rail says, but the apostrophe. Oh yeah, and his staff is out there, releasing transcripts, putting an apostrophe on supporters, trying to make it sound like he's talking in multiple plural. No. Everybody heard that for what it was.
And one of their main arguments that I see of all the pundits is, you guys made such a big deal, about defending your comedian, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, exactly. He was not a speaker. He was a comedian.
Yeah.
Doing what comedians do. That's the difference. It was all in jest. He was 100% kidding, and you know it. Biden wasn't kidding, and Biden's a sitting president.
No. TBA
and it's not
over
the first time he's done it. Remember his whole black and red speech where he called us all dangerous to democracy? He's been spewing this rhetoric for years.
Go back to 2020. I was reminded of this by listening to Victor Davis Hanson. In 2020, he goes up to Pennsylvania and calls people who are supporting Donald Trump chumps.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, TBA over on Rumble says Joe had a brain fart or Harris's staff is sabotaging her. Could be. Let's see who else is weighing in on this thing. No. Yeah, let's see. Nah, y'all. Yeah, okay. I know Biden is dementia ridden and all, but that doesn't make this less disturbing. Oh, I agree with you. I agree. Okay, I don't think he wants the Dems to lose that badly. He may not want the Democrats to lose. I could agree, dear. I'll agree with you here. I could agree with that. But where she's concerned, he has no qualms whatsoever seeing her going down in flames to Donald Trump.
And I think his endorsement of her was the ultimate middle finger, because I don't think they would have picked her otherwise, but they kind of had to. And now he's gonna drive that voodoo pin into the voodoo doll a lot more.
Oh, and I think you're absolutely right. What Barack Obama had in mind, according to reports, was the idea of a truncated primary. Mm-hmm. In other words, the convention, let's see, when Joe got out was July 21st, I think it was.
It's a Sunday, I remember.
The convention was about a month away. It would have given candidates time to start making their case in the public sphere, go to the convention in Chicago, you have an open convention, and somebody comes out as the nominee. But Joe short-circuited the process when he immediately endorsed Kamala the same day that he announced he was getting out of the race. And between that move and Kamala making a bunch of phone calls before Obama could do anything about it, she had the nomination, for all intents and purposes, wrapped up, and there wasn't a daggone thing that Barack Obama could do about it. And
I think if they had truncated primary, you probably would have seen a Gavin Newsom or a Gretchen Whitmer or Mark Keller, Shapiro. Maybe even Michelle Obama, maybe even Hillary. Hillary could have been put back in.
Absolutely. Well, that was last night. Today, it's still reverberating around. Kamala Harris is on a tarmac getting ready to travel somewhere. And she makes a statement, and needless to say, she gets asked about this by the press. And folks, I promise you, this is the last thing Kamala Harris wants to be focused on with 6 days to go in a presidential race. Check out her questions, the questions she's asked, and the answers she gives.
President Biden put this comment last night about garbage.
Listen, I think that, first first of all, he clarified his comments, but let me be clear. I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. You heard my speech last night and continuously throughout my career. I believe that the work that I do is about representing all the people, whether they support me or not. And as President of the United States, I will be a president for all Americans, whether you vote for me or not. That is my responsibility, and that's the kind of work that I've done my entire career, and I take it very seriously.
Have you spoken to him about his comments and his
he did call me last night, but this didn't come up.
This didn't come up? Are you serious? This didn't come up? Really?
I want to know. I know he was doing an interview. Was that on like Telemundo or some news station? That's how it got clipped so quick, or was that supposed to be like a private thing and it got?
No, it wasn't necessarily private. It was. I think it was earlier in the day or a little bit before she made the speech, with a group called Voto Latino.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the name of them, I know nothing about the organization.
Probably on Telemundo, if I had to say.
Probably so. But he makes the statement, totally cuts the rug out from under her speech. And now this is what she's going to be answering for the next 24 to 48 hours.
Because no one's talking about her great.
No.
And now that's coming around on, I don't know if you've seen this, that, 75,000, but cell phone pings only have it at about 35,000. And there was fencing put up because there were so many pro-Gaza, anti-Israel protesters there. They tried to keep them out. And some of her people in the rally actually had to climb the fence to get out of the rally. Did you see that?
I heard about it. And now that's what Kamala's talking about. Trump is at Rocky Point, North Carolina. He's still making comments about it. And we'll play a quick little snippet. Check this out.
But let's say 225 million people. She's essentially, and he's calling them garbage. They're a team, by the way. Oh, she hated that last night when she heard that. Although, honestly, I don't think she's smart enough to know what it really means. What that meant, that makes deplorable look like baby stuff, right? Deplorable with her. Remember Hillary? She said, deplorable and irredeemable. And I said, oh, what a terrible term to use the word irredeemable. I didn't know. Somehow irredeemable. I think it's worse, right? But you know what's worse than anything? Garbage. We're garbage. We're garbage. And I call you the heart and soul of America. You're the people that built America.
Don't you think that he and the Republicans aren't going to drive this point home all the way to Election Day? Don't you think they won't? I mean,
and it's obvious that the Democrats are the party of the elites. I saw, today Jennifer Aniston endorsed them. Julia Roberts endorsed them. You don't, Favre, Favre, who writes, he does great work with the only one that does quality work with Disney Star Wars.
That's true.
But they are multimillionaires and billionaires. They don't live in the real world. They don't care who wins because they have the money and the resources to live a good life no matter who wins. They are set for life. They are not in the real world like we are.
Yep.
They don't have a clue. So they don't care how high inflation gets. They don't care how much our national debt goes up. They don't care how bad crime is because they live behind gated communities and have private chefs that go shop for their food and they never see a bill.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and then you had one of her mega donors, and I'm forgetting what his name is, but he tweeted out, calling them garbage is being kind or something, words to that effect. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, now, I mean, I'm going to make a comment to those out there who are watching this live stream now, or maybe are going to watch it later on. And you're sitting there wondering, they don't really think this about us. Oh, yes, they do. They don't like you. They don't like me. They don't like Tracy. They don't like anybody here in chat. We're not in their social class. We're not part of the clique. We're not part of the club. Just because we have ideas about how the world ought to work, which kind of meets our needs and helps us get by in this life. And, they're so above it all, they can fly in private jets and drink $100 Cristal $100 bottle of Cristal champagne and go to all the best parties and be in the exclusive clubs. We're not like them.
And can I say, and all the working and middle class people that are on their side, to them, you are useful idiots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because guess what's going to happen? They don't care if you don't have health care. They don't care that you can't find a job. They don't care if you lose your housing. They don't care. The sooner you're dead, to them, the better, because they're going to have AI and robots to keep the country going, and they're going to live up and live a good life when we're all dead.
What's that line from Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol? One less surplus mouth to feed.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
They'll that's the reason population is declining. They're importing illegal migrants to take our places. Guess what? The illegal migrants are coming from countries, and I hate to say this, are coming from countries that are used to living under dictators.
Yeah.
And they're easy to control. You and I are not easy to control.
No.
That's why they hate us. And all you little American patsies out there that are supporting these people, you're supporting your own demise. They're going to replace you. They're going to let you die. They don't care. They don't care. You're a useful idiot. Wake up.
Absolutely. And folks, I mean, he just called you garbage. Let's just assume for a moment that you're on the fence about who you ought to support. Like, you're not really hard Democrat, but you're not hard Republican. Well, guess what? You make the choice to vote for a Donald Trump. And even if it weren't Donald Trump, substitute the name of any other Republican. Or do this. Substitute the name of anyone other than a Democrat that you would think about voting for. Guess what? You will be called garbage. You will be called a deplorable. You will be called someone who's not, down with the struggle. Whatever term you want to use, okay? That's how they're going to view you. So you got a choice.
I was called garbage by a guy that had been my friend for years, because I was considering voting for Jo Jorgensen back in 2020, the Libertarian candidate, because I liked some of her policies. And he called me garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And this is small time. This is an absolutely great reminder. Peter Strzok of the famous, FBI saga. I just went to a Virginia Walmart and I could smell this Trump support. Yeah. Unbelievable with these people.
They hate working class people. They don't care who you support. They'll take your support because they need your support to get in power. They don't care.
Absolutely.
They don't care if you're a blue-haired lesbian that voted for them or a working class white man that voted for Trump. They consider you the same. They consider you garbage too. They just say it out loud about us.
Yeah. Now, they might be mean and hateful and have absolutely no sense of humor. We, on the other hand, have a glorious sense of humor. And when this comment about garbage came out, needless to say, not that I create them myself, but I appreciate them. We, the merry memers of the world, went to work. I got a few of them here, and this is the American people just saying, you think we're garbage? Well, screw you. Let's show you how much we're garbage. My husband and I heading to vote for Trump. Check this out.
Mm-hmm.
Take the music down before I get in trouble. Look at that. That is priceless. That is absolutely priceless. And that's not the only one. Here's another one. Oscar the Grouch. I'm cool with garbage. Just don't call me a Democrat. These are great. These are absolutely great. I got another one here. No. I'm sorry. There is some news, and I need to back this up a little bit. Not only did Biden put out a tweet last night, he went and tried today to clarify his remarks, more about what he was trying to say. And we do have tape of him doing that. So folks, this is Biden again trying to clean up his mess.
My fellow Americans, and the other half of you that is garbage, it's your boy Dank Brandon here. I wanted to take a moment to explain what I meant when I called half the country garbage. Look, garbage isn't always a bad thing. Sure, you stink and no one wants to see you, but you can become something useful when properly handled, like fertilizer. So basically, yes, you're shit, but you have the potential to be more. Anyways, vote for Cackles or don't. I don't give two shits anymore. Dank Brandon out.
I love it.
I don't know, folks. I don't know that that's really going to help the situation, but he seems to think it's going to do something to kind of, smooth it out or whatever. I don't know.
They're saying lots of quiet parts out loud.
Yeah.
You remember, what was it, 2022, when there were so many layoffs in Appalachia when a lot of the coal mines closed?
Yeah.
What was the response of the quote-unquote mainstream media to those miners that had just lost their jobs? Learn to code. That's all they said.
Yeah, learn
to code. Do you think they give jack shit about anybody that's not a multimillionaire or a millionaire? No, they don't.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. Well, I tell you what, we've been running for a while here. Let's slow these horses down a little bit and or slow the train down a little bit and do a real quick commercial on both of our behalves. Miss Tracy, where may people find you on social media? What may they do to help you? Where can people follow your great work?
You can find me here on YouTube at Gen X Marks the Spot, and on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Gen X Marks.
All right. And my name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative. You can find my channel on YouTube. You can find me on Rumble. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider giving me a sub. Also, you can find me on Twitter at The Front Porch C1. Leave a comment in chat. Hit the thumbs up button. Share the link around to your friends. Share some of Tracy's links around. She's got good stuff out on her channel. Occasionally, she'll take the risk of having me come on, run the risk of having YouTube completely shut her down for associating with me, but she keeps me hanging around, I think, for the comedy, for whatever that helps her out with. I don't know. But anyway, help Tracy out, support her and her work. And Tracy, with that, I will hand it over to you for the next topic.
Well, I think we ought to take a look at some of the polls that are running around. I don't know if you want to take a look. I know that both the Eric Daltrey, Red Eagle Politics, and the People's Pundit all dropped the latest Atlas Intel poll of the, I'll see if I can find it, of the national vote, of the popular vote, and Atlas Intel was the most accurate pollster from both 2016 and 2020 with a error of less than 2%, like a 1.6% error. It was much better than any of the other polls. And in their most recent poll with the popular vote, they show Trump ahead by 3 in the popular vote.
Yep.
Which is huge. And I'm looking for that. I should have had it ready. I apologize.
No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. I'm out on Real Clear Politics right now. Just to give people a flavor for where we're at, this is the running average of Real Clear Politics. And again, there is something of history here to note. In the 2 previous presidential elections and now his third, this is the first time in the average of the RCP that Donald Trump has ever had a lead. And usually on election day, the polls never take into account the strength of Donald Trump's vote.
Yep.
So, Zippy, you may be late, but we still love you. Do not worry. Do not worry at all.
And there's also this theory going around that now we're starting to see Trump up in a lot of these polls, even the left-leaning ones, or at least as ties.
Yep.
And the theory is that they are what they call tribing. They are so afraid of being wrong and basically losing credibility that they're starting to adjust their numbers and their sample size to make it even, or even put Trump ahead, because they know what's really going on.
Oh, absolutely. And that's
safety of numbers, in other words.
That's the national. And as it stands right now, let me pull up Rasmussen's.
Now, Rasmussen is a right-leaning pollster, just to let everybody know.
Or maybe better to say he's accused of it. Let's put it that way.
He's accused of it. But Atlas Intel, from what I understand, is a pretty much straight down the line poll, and they're the most accurate.
Yeah. According to Rasmussen's, and this is the last daily that they'll do because they've got so many state polls hanging out there right now. There is no way they can keep doing a daily tracking poll and drop all these state polls they've got. And some of the state polling is real interesting from Rasmussen. Give me a second here and I'll get down to it. Oh yeah. Tomorrow morning they're dropping a new poll for Arizona, Georgia, and New Mexico, which Donald Trump is going there tomorrow, by the way.
What Albuquerque?
Keep your eyes on that. But they did drop 2 polls today, and these are shockers. Minnesota +3 to Harris. That's not necessarily the big surprise. You would kind of expect that with Tim Walz, the governor of the state, being on the ticket. But the shocker is Harris +1 in New Hampshire. Let me say that again, folks. According to Rasmussen's polling, Harris +1 in New Hampshire.
And all of those are within the margin of error, too.
Yep.
Which the way they mistake Trump, that could be a 3-point swing to Trump.
And
easily, which puts him up 2 in New Hampshire and puts it at a tie in, what was the other? New Mexico.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If you're wondering just how worried the Democrats are about New Hampshire, word got out late this afternoon that former President Bill Clinton is going to make a run up to New Hampshire on Friday. Biden was up there, what was it, late last week or earlier this week? No, it was late last week. I'm sorry. He was up there late last week. Sean says, is this a blue state? Sean, here's the thing about New Hampshire. It, for the longest time, had the reputation for being a Republican state. And then what happened is you had a bunch of retirees from Massachusetts start moving into the southern part of the state, and the state kept getting bluer and bluer and bluer and bluer. And then finally, I think the last time a Republican won New Hampshire was 2000.
And
if I
you
remember
have
correctly.
a heavy libertarian population there,
Yes.
too, because libertarians actually tried to do a campaign over the last 10 years to get libertarians to move to New Hampshire to make it a true yellow state, a true libertarian stronghold. And a lot of them did, and they won't vote for either the other 2 parties. They vote libertarian no matter what. But I think now with Chase Oliver being such a crazy leftist that the libertarians nominated, you're going to see a lot of them vote for Trump.
Exactly. And I'm going to be very interested to see Rasmussen's polling. Arizona and Georgia, I'm not going to say they're done deals, but I'll tell you what. Arizona, Arizona, Trump's going to have if you, again, always take early voting data with a big grain of salt. But between early voting data and party registration, Trump is going to have a big advantage in Arizona. I think the same is true of Georgia. This could be really interesting indeed. And Christian's got a question. Do you guys know Lily Tang Williams, dissenter from the People's Republic of China, who is running for Congress in New Hampshire? If Trump wins New Hampshire, Lily could win her seat. How did you guys?
I agree, because a lot of the people that Trump is pulling are low propensity and no propensity voters, meaning they haven't voted. They've only voted in half of the last 4 elections, or they haven't voted in any of the last 4 elections. And those people, and when I say those people, that's not derogatory. Those type of voters, not like us who are high propensity voters that may vote a split ticket depending on the issues. They will just hit the one party button and keep it moving. So it's very possible that it could pull Lily over the line with Trump. I hope it does. It could also pull Kerry, good God, the Arizona senator, Kerry Lake over the line too, and I hope it does.
Okay. A little more information on Lily Tang Williams. You guys should look into her. Grew up under Mao's revolution, fled to America, lived the American dream, and now that sounds good to me, brother. That's all I need. I mean, believe me, anybody that managed to flee and survive Mao's revolution, get here. Yeah, by all means, let's get this woman in Congress.
Is she running as a Republican or a Libertarian, Christian?
Okay, yeah, good question. Is she running Libertarian or Republican? Just out of curiosity, because I mean, like you said, Tracy, they've got a very strong Libertarian presence up in that state.
Oh, Libertarians get elected in New Hampshire all the time.
Oh,
She's running.
She's running
Okay.
Republican. Okay,
Right, yeah.
Crossing our fingers for that wonderful young lady. So yeah, by all means, let's get her in Congress. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what Rasmussen's got out of New Mexico for a poll. As a matter of fact,
And I want to say Lily Tang. I want to say Congressman Lily Tang.
There you go.
Because that's awesome.
Let's see. He dropped a poll from New Hampshire today, dropped one from Minnesota. He's got Arizona and Georgia coming out tomorrow, along with New Mexico. He's still got polls for Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Nevada, and North Carolina coming out. So Mark's going to be real busy the next few days. Let me tell you something.
And the whole thing is, there's always this question, why is she pulling money out of North Carolina and Nevada and putting it into Virginia and New Hampshire? Well, we know why. New Hampshire, it's too close for her there. I mean, she's only ahead by 1 point within the margin of error. North Carolina, according to most of the polls, Trump is up at least 1.5% average in North Carolina. So has she given up on North Carolina, or is her internal polling showing her that she's got it locked up? Why is she pulling the money out of North Carolina and Nevada? Has she given up on them, or does her internal polling say something different? Because she's sending that money to Virginia and New Hampshire, which normally are not two states that Democrats really have to worry about.
Well, and here's the thing, and I will put this up here for consideration. If, and this is a real big if Trump takes Virginia, then honestly, all the discussions about Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin become irrelevancies, because if you look at it on a map, let's just say Trump took Virginia. If he picks up North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona, the race is over. He wouldn't even need to win any of the Great Lakes states. So polls close in Virginia on 7:30 on Tuesday night. And yes, we will be doing an election live stream here on this channel. But polls close in Virginia 7:30. And, we will see what happens. We will see what happens.
Trump is going for the popular vote. That's the reason he's campaigning in California, in New York, in Oregon. He's campaigning in places he knows he doesn't have much of a chance of winning the electoral votes, but he wants that popular vote, because he knows if he wins the popular vote by at least 1 to 2%, that's going to be a good sweep in the Electoral College. Absolutely. I am still saying that we're going to get at least 290, if not 300 and something in electoral votes. That's my prediction.
Oh yeah. I'm there with you. I'm saying on the low end, he's looking at like 312. Mm-hmm. I really do believe it. He's looking at 312 on the low end, but
the greatest gift that God could give, your will be done, is Kamala comes out of this with the left coast, Colorado, Illinois, and New York, and then of course the New England area. Trump takes everything else, including New Hampshire, including New Jersey, because right now Republicans have a slim lead in New Jersey early voting. I think New Jersey could flip. I really do.
That shocked me when I saw that. That absolutely shocked me when I saw it. And that Donald Trump garbage truck thing is absolutely getting around already.
He's got Brett Favre, and he's got Brett Favre with him tonight at
I know.
Green Bay.
Oh my goodness, just crazy. Oh my, hang on. What the heck is, hang on a minute. I just found another, you showed me that video of Trump in the garbage truck. I've got another view of it if you want to take a look at it.
Sure.
Hang on, let me pop this up.
And no, Gypsy, we're not delusional about they're going to try to do some shenanigans, but I am more hopeful because we are calling them on it, and we're actually getting the legal system involved, and we're stopping a lot of it.
No, I have no doubt the Democrats are going to try and cheat. I have no doubts they're trying to rig votes. I've got no doubt about that at all. I'm just saying that there's good news coming out of various places, and let's see what happens. So,
and with the ballot boxes in Portland being set on fire, I heard today that they discovered a lot of pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian stuff written on the ballots and on the box and stuff like that. So, so
Uh,
that's definitely leftist. Trump's supporters are not going to do that.
we normally get the results early
By
the night.
midnight or just after midnight.
Yeah. And like I say, he takes Virginia. And again, it's a big if. I'm not necessarily counting on it, but if he does, all bets are off as far as this thing.
Well, they can only get a recount if it's less than 1%.
0.5%.
0.5%. So if
If it's
he wins it by
0.5% or less,
1% or
automatic
more,
recount.
there's no recount.
Well, actually, not even that. 0.6.
Yeah.
0.6 or higher, there's no recount. No, I'm not.
Well, then why even bother voting if you're so sure they're going to steal it? Why even bother? I don't play that way.
Yeah, but yeah, I've got another
That's what
angle.
Fight means.
Okay, I got another angle on the garbage truck. This is just actually kind of funny. This is out at the airport, actually. Watch this. That's funny as all get out. That is absolutely hysterical.
No, they would leave 6-pack or 12-pack for the guys. That's a gift trash. That's why they're all alcoholics.
That is absolutely funny.
And Gypsy, they purged 163,000 duplicate votes off of the rolls today in Michigan, thanks to a lawsuit filed by the RNC in Michigan for that reason.
Yeah.
You missed that. Did you miss that at the top of the hour when we covered that story?
Yeah, I think she got in. She wasn't able to be here for that part of the show, but yeah, that's more or less where we're at with some of the polls. So there you go. But yeah, we're gonna see how all this shakes out.
Oh, and another court ruling, Supreme Court ruled that Virginia had to purge all of the illegal aliens from the voter rolls. Which, why isn't anybody just asking the simple question? If you're a Democrat, why aren't you asking the simple question? Why do you want illegal migrants to be able to vote? Why don't you want them purged off the voter rolls?
You got me. I have no idea. Unbelievable. So, oh goodness. Anything else by way of polls or anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's move on to the next topic. And if you were here Monday night, you got to see a parody that Danny Polachek, a comedian, put together of what an interview might look like between Kamala Harris and Joe Rogan. And Polachek had a whole lot of fun with it, and we got a few laughs out of it. Well, there are some updates about the ongoing effort of Joe Rogan to get Kamala Harris to come on his podcast. And by the way, he's still got a standing invitation. Okay. Still got a standing invitation to come on. Okay. And Rogan put out a tweet the other day just to let everybody know where it stands. And it goes like this. So for the record, the Harris campaign has not passed on doing the podcast. They offered a date for Tuesday, but I would have had to travel to her, and they only wanted to do an hour. I strongly feel the best way to do it is in the studio in Austin. My sincere wish is just to have a nice conversation and get to know her as a human being. I really hope we can make it happen. Now that's where Rogan's at. Okay. He still wants to do it. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, he had J.D. Vance on this morning. Now, I don't know when it's going to be released, if it's going to be later tonight or sometime tomorrow. But yeah, Vance has gone on Rogan. Trump's
I
gone on
suspect
Rogan.
It'll be tonight because he dropped the Trump one that quickly. I mean, he doesn't edit his videos a lot. It's pretty much download it, slap his titles on it, and let it go and release it.
Yeah. Well, at some point today, or maybe it may have been yesterday, perhaps, Rogan had Konstantin Kisin on his podcast. If you're familiar with Konstantin Kisin, he's one of the co-hosts of Triggernometry. Okay. And they got into this discussion about what the heck is going on with Kamala Harris and, where does it stand? So with that, here's the latest update from Rogan's own mouth about what is actually happening here.
I heard you might have needed to cancel on us to get Kamala Harris on.
I was not going to do that. I would have had to. I knew you guys flew from England, and I wasn't going to cancel on you because she had an opportunity to come in. You could look at this and you say, "Oh, you're being a diva," but she had an opportunity to come here when she was in Texas, and I literally gave them an open invitation. I said, anytime. I said, if she's done at 10 o'clock, we'll come back here at 10 o'clock. I go, I'll do it at 9 in the morning. I'll do it at 10 p.m. I'll do it at midnight. She's up. She wants to, drink a Red Bull, fucking party on.
Yeah, but I think this idea that you're being a diva is silly because you're offering her the opportunity to do exactly what the other candidate did, right?
Well, she actually reached out when she found out that he was coming on. So their camp reached out to me. So I said, great, I would love to talk to her. But it was very difficult to tie it down. And they wanted to travel. And see, the thing is, like, you can't, if I go somewhere, then there's going to be other people in the room. And they want to control a lot of things, I'm sure, according to the Brett Breyer interview on Fox. Like, people were waving him off. That's a distraction. People in the room, like, my whole goal with her and with him is just talk. Just have a conversation like a human being. You find out things about people. You get a sense of them, at least, a real sense. That was it. I don't give a fuck what we talk about. I really don't. I just want to talk to you. Who the fuck are you?
Do you think?
See, that is what makes, at least in my opinion, that is what makes Joe Rogan one of the best podcasters or live streamers, whatever you want to call it, in the world today. I don't care what we talk about. Let's just talk. Let's have the conversation. But she's so tightly wound and so controlled. She doesn't want to, her handlers will not let that happen. They just won't do it.
Because she can't open her mouth without a script.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know. I honestly do not think this interview is going to happen. I really don't. I really don't see it happening.
No.
I cannot see her doing it. And like I say, maybe I'm wrong, but
if she doesn't book it by Friday, it's not going to happen before the election.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Because she's running out of time. And frankly, I think it's just, yeah. Let's see. Kamala had some genuine moments, such as when she laughed about locking up parents of truant kids and intimidating. True. Very true. Very true indeed. Sean over on Rumble says it won't happen. You're probably right. I don't think it will. I really don't. And in some small way, people are going to remember that. They are going to remember she wouldn't sit down and talk to them. She wouldn't sit down and talk with Rogan. She wouldn't talk to this person, whatever. She's just not gonna. She just is not gonna.
She's going to go on places where she can manipulate the interview, like the, Club Shay Shay. That was the most fluff interview. They just sipped liquor and talked about whatever, and he gave her softball questions.
Yep.
And then, have you been to that interview on YouTube, the Club Shay Shay? Have you seen that? First of all, it just now passed 1.1 million in 3 days, but I highly advise anybody, here, I'll share it, to go to that video.
Okay.
And just check out the comments. Here, I'll share it and share a few of these comments because they are gold. Give me just a second here to pull it up.
Okay.
Literally gold. And hey, I don't like to argue with people in the community. I'm just very optimistic, and I'm not going to let any Debbie Downers take my joy. I'm just not. So.
I mean, we're all going to see what's going to happen come November 5th. So. And the only thing we can do is do what we can do. So there. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at.
But I am optimistic because even though I know that the Democrats are going to try some shenanigans, I am confident that the Republicans are actually taking it seriously and doing what they can to shut that down. Hang on. I've almost got it up here.
Okay.
Okay. Beautimus. Share it now.
Okay.
So this is the Kamala Harris interview.
Okay.
Done on Club Shay Shay. And it has 1.3 million 2 days ago. Trump's is worldwide. Trump worldwide is on both platforms, or all platforms plus YouTube, is over 60 million now.
Wow.
And she's, from what I understand, the ratio on this is pretty sick. But the comments, the comments. I grew up in a middle class family, and that taught me the comment section is where we go first. Who else paused and ran straight to the comments?
Yep.
The real MVP is Shannon for not turning off the comments. Let's see. Shannon, congratulations for breaking a record for the most non-watch straight to the comments videos in Club Shay Shay's history.
Yep. Absolutely.
Let's see.
Never seen an interview. I'm going to give you full screen. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Okay. All right. Never seen an interview with 160,000 dislikes. Made it through 10 minutes and felt like I fell out of a coconut tree in a middle-class neighborhood. Kamala, I want to unify the country. Well, you certainly unified these comments. So that's just comedic gold, in my opinion. So I am optimistic that we're going to have a more fair shot this time. I really am. I want to believe that there's not as much cheating as everybody says there is. I mean, I'm not naive. I know shenanigans go on, but I think we've got a better grasp of it this time, and I am cautiously optimistic. I know I sound like a big, braggart about it. I hope for a win. I'm very optimistic for a win, but, But yeah, Rhonda, I agree. Sometimes the YouTube comments are the best parts of any video. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I highly recommend going to that particular YouTube video and checking out the comments because they're just gold. So, has anyone heard when the J.D. Vance interview with Joe Rogan might be out?
I had heard that it might be dropping. Well, I thought it was going to drop today, but we'll see.
Joe Rogan usually doesn't do a whole lot of editing. They just drop them.
Exactly. Zippy over on Rumble with a Rumble rant. Thank you very much, sir. We are at the point that there's enough awareness that if they steal this one, they will wind up destroying themselves in the short run. There's no real point in being down on things. Well, I mean, look, here's where I'm sort of at with this. Are the Democrats going to try and pull a bunch of shenanigans and steal votes? Yeah, absolutely. People can only do what they can do. Mm-hmm. For my part, I'm just speaking for myself. The only thing I can do is vote. And if I see something funky, call it out. Mm-hmm. There are certain things that cannot be done at my level. There are certain things that can be done at levels higher up. Hopefully those things are being done. So I am optimistic. And it's like I told my friend Smiling Jack today. I'm trying to be even-keeled about this. Do I have a suspicion of what I think is going to happen? Yeah. Do I have a wish for what I want to happen? Yeah. Now we're going to see if my expectations and my wishes measure up against the reality of what's going to happen. So that's going to be the $1 million thing with me. So we'll see, But like I say, the only thing we can do is pray and vote. It's the best two things right now. Pray and vote. Mm-hmm. So, all right. What else you got on those subjects, my dear?
That's really all I had. I think we covered everything that I brought to the table, other than myself and my entire family voted yesterday. So that was fun.
All right. I'm going to save one of these topics either for tomorrow night or for the weekend. So we shall see. Zippy with another Rumble rant. I mean, even if Trump wins, we are still in a broken mess. Hope for the best, but humans are hurting feral cats. Zippy, very, very true, my friend. Very true. Small Time says, I will sample a fifth of Smiling Jack. It was Get the bottle ready, brother. All right, a couple of funnies before we call it a night, and let me make sure that I've got. Okay, oh yeah, that's the one that he sent me, and yeah, a couple of funnies before we call it a night. Impersonators galore have been a big part of the 2024 election, as you all know, and Tracy saw one today that I think is kind of near and dear to her geographic heart. And with that, I hope you guys enjoy this funny. Oh, wait a minute. I've forgotten how to do this. Crap. Hang on. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. All right. Enjoy.
My fellow Americans, I was this close to wasting $200 on hidden charges at the lumber yards. These are sick people. Until I saw this beautiful ad from my friends at DT McCall's. They're great. They're not going to charge you for any of your hoses or cords or haulaways. The lumber yards are going to rip you off. How the hell are you supposed to use a dryer without a cord? Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Go visit my friends at DT McCall's and stop the hidden charges on day one, believe me.
That's great. That is, I think it's down in Nashville, Tennessee. I think where this place is
well,
at.
they're in Lebanon and Franklin's, which are suburbs of Nashville, but yeah.
Okay. Well, one last thing, and then we will call it a night. Now, I don't know if you guys had heard about this lately, but there is a certain amount of speculation swirling around Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as to whether she might very well be with child. Don't roll your eyes, just listen to me on this one. This is swirling because the last time she was on camera was with Governor Walz in Minnesota, and many people were kind of wondering, was she looking a little... She's definitely not as svelte as she usually is. Well, if this is the case that she is mother-to-be, there's been speculation, well, who might the father be? Well, the Porch Hounds have been busy.
I know Alex Stein, the comedian, tried to take credit for it today on Twitter. And, I know she's been dating like this little
pencil neck geek,
pencil neck beta white man for a long time, but
well, I got bad news for Alex and for the pencil neck beta white boy. If rumors are true, then it may be somebody that and I think I understand why she's not saying anything about it, because if this is true, then who the father may be is going to shock everybody. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, check this out from the Porch Hounds.
Oh no.
I apologize.
That was perfect.
I'm breaking all the rules.
Well, I guess we might make some mistakes. Who knows?
The air is...
I think one of the biggest problems we have in DC is that everyone's egos are too big.
I actually just prefer to have no titles at all.
Oh my, look at the look.
You're opening yourself up.
I'm just being me.
Wow. You could cut the tension tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh.
Well, Elon's got game. Evidently.
Yeah. Small time, you may be right, my friend. You may be absolutely right. Absolutely right indeed. So,
will this change her views on abortion?
That's a great question. Well, now,
I pray for her to have a healthy child.
If it is the case,
please let the child grow up to be a conservative Republican.
Just to piss her off. I know. Just to piss her off. All right, folks. And with that, we're going to bring this train into the station. You guys have been absolutely wonderful tonight. And thank you for everything. Memes, comments, contributions, Rumble rants, everything. That's all that we can do. Zippy with another Rumble rant. Thank you very much, sir. I miss Mark Russell. I bet you know who Mark. Yes, I remember Mark Russell and that piano in the center of the stage. Man, he used to have some of the best political comedy that you'd ever get to see. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yes, I do know who Mark Russell is. Tracy, one last time, real quick commercial. Where can people find you on social media? What can they do to support your efforts? And what do you got coming up in the near future?
I've got a great conversation coming up with Darius at a Real Talk with Darius. That'll be dropping on Friday about the Matrix and Hollywood and conspiracy theories in general. That's a real fun, lively conversation. I recently released a video on my favorite 80s cartoons growing up a Gen X kid. So if you want a little bit of nostalgia, I do some of that. I do some true crime, but you can find me over on Gen X Marks the Spot here on YouTube and at Gen X Marks on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter.
There you go. And thank you once again for being my co-host this evening. This has been a load of fun. My name is Brian Trippett. You can find me on Rumble. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter. I'll be back tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern, for another session of Chatting on the Porch. Be back this Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m. for Front Porch Brunch. We will be back Monday night. And then I'm also been invited on My Morning Mayhem has invited me on for a late night Monday night pre-election session. And yeah, keep your eyes and ears open. We'll be all over the place in the coming days. So with that, folks, love you guys. Thank you so very much for being here. You have been wonderful as always. I'll be back tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern. And as always, remember the words of that great American philosopher, Tom T. Hall, when he said, "It's faster horses, younger lovers, older whiskey, and more money." Love you guys. Thanks again. We'll see you later. Have a good night.